compound interest. Right? So compound interest, try to write same speed with me, please. Compound interest, they don't have this note.
Oh, you're right.
Compound interest, which we're going to be calling CI from here on out, is the interest calculated on both the original amount and the accumulated interest. From previous periods. Right? So this basically means it's like this means interest on interest. Right? It's like a component interest on interest. Okay? So we have some formulas. Right? Formula. A, which means the total amount, right, is going to be equal to P, which is your principal, by 1 plus R, which is your rate over 100 to the power of time. This gives you your total amount at the end of a given period, right? So this formula, this formula where A is the total amount at end of period. P is principal. R is rate. And T is time. Calculates the total amount. Right? That's what that formula calculates. If the question asks you to find compound interest, like find the amount which is the compound interest over the period, your compound interest is basically equal to your total amount minus your principal. That is what your compound interest will be. So the question is saying a credit union pays 8% per annum compound interest on all fixed deposits, right? So straight off the back, what is R? What's the rate here? The rate is 5%? 8%. Excellent. A customer deposited 24,000 into an account. Let's talk about principal. What is the principal or the initial amount, the original amount? 24,000. Calculate the amount of money in the account at the end of 2 years. So they just ask you for the total amount, which is the formula that I just gave you. So under compound interest, right? You cannot use this formula for simple interest, right? So on that compound interest, we know that the total amount is going to be equal to principal multiplied by 1 plus rate over 100 to the power of t. So let's look. This is what we're trying to find, right? The amount. So this will be equal to, we said the principal is 2400. Everybody agrees? 24,000. Then you have 1 plus 8 over 100. Cool? So the power of how much is? 2. So somebody punches in on my calculator there. So when you work on this again, 27,000 what? $993 and press the AMU button up. And you get a decimal. How much point? Point go. Press the A, 0.06. So that's 60 cents. This what you get? This is the total amount in your account after 2 years. So Faye borrowed $9,600 at 8% per annum compound interest. Let me ask some questions. What is my principal here? 9,600, right? What is my rate? So we know those two things, right? So let's go. Calculate the interest on the loan for the first year. So when you're asking for the first year of a 1 year thing, you can simply just calculate the interest like this, right? So your interest would be equal to, now this is compound interest, right? It'll be 8%, because it is asking for the first year, multiplied by 9,600. What we get there? 8% of 9,600 will give me my interest for year 1, or my compound interest for year 1. What you getting there? 700 and flat, right? 768 is the interest for the first year. Now, they said at the end of the first year, how much? At the end of the first year, how much? At the end of the first year, she paid this amount, right? 4,368. How much did she still owe at the beginning of the second year? So, let's calculate how much she owing at the end of the first year, right? So, this is owing at end of first year, right? So, how much did she initially owe? What was the principal?
9,600.
9,600. Excellent. And how much did she owe in interest after the first year? How much was the interest? 768. So how much is she owing at the end of the first year?
4,360.
How much is she owing at the end of the first year? This is the principal. This is how much the interest came up to. How much is she owing?
10,360.
10,360. Yeah, that right. That's how much she owing. But how much she come and pay off here, by?
4,000.
So we go to the beginning of the second year, right? So owing at beginning of beginning is 2 ends. Right? This will be 10,368 minus how much big you'll pay off? 4,368. 4,368. So she was still owing 6,000. Flat. Calculate the interest on remaining balance for the second year. So your interest on remaining balance would be 8% of what's the remaining balance right here? How much is still owing? 6,000. Boom, bang, bada, bang. How much is big? You're still owing? Zeros cancel. 480. Let's go. Right? No, wait. This is the interest on the remaining balance, right? That's the interest. What is that? The last, no, do have a last part, that's it there. They just wanted the interest on the remaining balance. If I was to find out how much she owed at the end of the second year, what am I adding? How much she owed at the end of the second year? 6,000 plus the 480. Right, excellent. So right for me to write, I put Right. So we go in. A loan, watch it, a loan of 12,000 was borrowed from a bank at 14% per annum. Calculate. So you want to calculate the interest on the loan at the end of the first year. So the interest at the end of the first year would be equal to 14 over 100 multiplied by 12,000, which will give me what?
1680.
Somebody second 1680. Yes, 1,680. Proper thing, right? That's the interest in the first year. So they want the total amount owing at the end of the first year.
Total amount that owing on the first year will be 13,600.
Excellent. Excellent. So the total amount would be 12,000 plus 1,680, which will give us 13,000. Right, proper thing. All right, so this will be equal to 13,680.
So,
right?
So now they say pay 7,800. So now you minus.
Right, excellent. Excellent. So they said a repayment of 7,800 was made at the start of the second year.
13,680 minus 7,800.
Right. So this is amount owing, right? Owing at start of second year. Right? So this will be equal to the 12,000, sorry, 13,680. Excellent. So it'll be 13,680 minus the 7,800, which will leave me with
5,880.
somebody second this. You get this? Well, it looks so like it's only one man doing it, okay, buddy? So there you go. The interest on the outstanding amount at the end of the second year. So my interest will be equal to 5,880 multiplied by 14%. You want the interest on the outstanding amount. 5,880 is the outstanding amount. So give me the interest on the outstanding amount here, please. But let's fix that one. What's it now? $823.20. Right?
Saying why would I add the 1680?
Uh-huh.
So 5,000.
Yeah, go ahead. Write it. Yeah, go ahead now. Let me start reading the next one, maybe now. Oh, go ahead one time. There you go. So Micah invests a certain amount of money in a bank that pays compound interest at a rate of 2.5 per annum. At the end of 2 years, the value of her investment is $7,564.50. Calculate the amount she initially invested, right? Okay, what's all this they give us here? They give us all the formulas here. So if we want the amount she originally invested, right? This is the value of her investment at the end. So they actually give us the total amount, right? So they just give us the formula that I gave you all above here. A is the total amount, P is my, what P is my? Principal, R is my, and N in this case will be what? N in this case is what? Look at it. Number of years, right? So there we go. So they gave us, CSEC actually gave us this formula, right? They gave this to us. So let's work the formula, right? We have A. I'm going to put on all of we have. We have A. A would be $7,564.50. 7,500 and how much, right? $64.50. Right? $64.50, right? We have, I think we have the years, which is N. We have N at the end of how much years? 2. So we have N. What's that, right? Right. So we have N. N will be equal to 2. Do we have the rate?
Yes, 2.5.
2.5. 2.5. So what we're really missing is the time, which in this case is N. No, not the time, the principal. Principal is what missing. Principal. So P is what is missing, right? So I'm going to work the formula, right? The formula is total amount is equal to your principal by 1 plus your rate over 100 to the power of N. That's what CSEC gave us, which is the same formula that I gave you all above. The formula I gave you all was this. A is equal to P by 1 plus capital R over 100 to the power of T. You realize it's the same thing? It says N is T, and it does write capital R as common R. Is the same thing, right? So let me plug in. This is how we go in. So watch it. A is $7,564.50. So I put that in place of A. We don't know P, so I put back P. And then it's 1 plus 2.5. 1 plus 2.5 over 100 to the power of 2. You good there? Talk to me. No, you have to start to move things around. So we want to find P. So watch this. Work on the brackets, man. So this will be, watch, this will be $7,564.50 is equal to P by what? So do 1 plus 2.5 in brackets to the power of 2. So 1 plus 2.5 over 100 to the power of 2 plus the A and press the A and B over C naught. Give me to that decimal. What's the decimal? 1.05. 1.05. Everybody good there? Now multiplication is understood here. So what I need to do is I actually need to move that 1.05. When I carry that 1.05 to the left, I need to do the opposite of multiply, which is the what? Excellent. So watch it. So we have 7564.50 if you want to put that all over 1.05 is going to be equal to my principal. Can somebody tell me what my principal is, please? What's my principal there, my children? Divided, eh?
7204.
7204, 7,204.28. What after the 8? Right, so 29 cents is my principal. That's what they asked us for. That is all the questions we have for compound interest on this worksheet, right, guys?